Chapter 6, Go Straight Ahead. This chapter focused on direct learning. What is direct learning? I'll give you an example. When you started to drive, what do you think was more effective? Reading books and watching videos on how to drive, or actually getting in your car and driving your car? I can almost guarantee you that it was this one. When it came to fundamentally driving your car, actually driving your car is what helped you drive your car. So that is direct learning. You're directly associating and learning with the skill or knowledge or concept that you want to learn. There's 4 ways to do this. The first one is project-based learning. The second one is immersive learning. The third one is the flight simulator method. And the fourth one is the overkill approach. I'll get into these in a second, but first I'm going to read you a little snippet from the book. Students who receive honor grades in college-level physics courses are frequently unable to solve basic problems and questions encountered in a slightly different form from that they had been formally instructed and tested on. So when the question was changed just a little bit, they couldn't solve it anymore. What does that say? Well, in real life, what is the purpose of math? The purpose of math is to solve a certain problem, right? But in school, our purpose when we're being taught math is to solve the math problem. But math problems aren't there for the sake of solving them. Math problems are there in order to solve the second problem, the final problem. So a lot of the times in education, we're not being, like in school, our education isn't teaching us how to solve the real problem. It's teaching us the path to solve it. But when that path is changed just a little bit, most students and most people are completely lost. So how do we teach ourselves how to directly learn a topic? I already said them, I think. There's 4 ways: project-based learning, immersive learning, the flight simulator method, and the overkill approach. What is project-based learning? Project-based learning is where you create something. Okay, so while I'm reading this book called Ultra Learning, instead of just listening to it and then walking away, I'm creating this video for you. I'm creating something to show that I've learned. That's project-based learning. Immersive learning is where you immerse yourself in an environment or with a group of people who know what you want to learn, right? So if you want to learn a different country, if I want to learn Spanish, the best way for me to do that would be to go to Mexico for, let's say, a year, and I would be forced to learn Spanish if I want to interact with Spanish-speaking people. In sales, a good way to do that is to join sales groups and interact with people who are also in sales. The third approach is the flight simulator method. This is a situation in which you cannot directly interact with the skill you're trying to learn. For example, with being a closer in the beginning, I had no way to actually close deals. So instead of interacting directly to learn, I did role plays, I practiced in the mirror, and I texted on ChatGPT and I had like an AI conversation. Like I simulated what it would be like to actually do the job that I wanted to do. I'm not super good at it yet, which is why I'm still doing this, but I did do that, and that's a good way to simulate. The fourth is the overkill approach, and this is basically where this is the skill you need to reach, and so you go way up here. That way, whenever you need this, you've already gone to here. So you just go way over the requirements. And the best way to accomplish all of this is to aim for a particular test or challenge, or even set like a concrete goal. Let's say you wanted to learn a new language. You can make it your goal to pass a certain fluency exam. with whatever skill you're trying to learn, setting a goal is going to be the biggest key in order to actually accomplish it, because you can actually measure your progress against the goal. And then you can apply these 3 tactics: project-based learning, immersive learning, flight simulator method, and the overkill approach. Now remember, with direct learning, the reason people don't like to do it is because it's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. There's fear involved, and it can even be frustrating or boring to actually do it. Sometimes it's easier if we settle for a book or an app or a lecture or a video instead of actually going out of our comfort zone. And usually it requires getting up and doing something, or actually writing something, actually acting instead of just consuming. You have to produce. So it is more difficult, but that's why the reward is way more. So I hope you guys can enact these 4 principles, and when you are trying to learn whatever skill you're focusing on, you can learn it way faster and way more efficiently by doing that. So I hope this was valuable, and I will see you on the next one.